My car was repossessed the day that we started putting payments for sub two on my wife's credit card. That moment to where you question, is this all worth it? That's where 99% of people give up and they don't get to see what's on the other side of it. On this, you see on social media that it's all rainbows and unicorns. But if this person went through this right as they were making their breakthrough. It kicked in just in a nick of time.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Be the Connection podcast, where we dive into stories of community, mentorship, and success. My mission is to bring you inspiring conversations, real insights, and the kind of value that helps you grow. So grab a seat, settle in, and let's get connected. Today I have James. He has some amazing things he's doing. Give us a background of what it is that you're doing and who you are.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I don't know how to follow up with that. And thank you for this time today as well and bringing me on here. Wonderful opportunity to be able to get on and talk with you a little bit as I'm just now starting to put myself out there a little bit more. Thankfully to the shove of my wife behind me with a little nudge and push saying, "Hey, go talk, go talk." I have been in I call it real estate, but realistically I've been in the community for coming up on 4 years now. And I've walked through different journeys and different paths in the last 4 years. So before that, I actually come from a culinary background. So this was all new to me. I got to be that little recluse, only deal with the people in the very small circle in the kitchen 70 hours a week. So jumping into it, I mean, that first year it was a mess. I'll never lie about that. I was doing so many things trying to figure it out and just fail after fail and not understanding things through that whole time and started to give up a little bit, went back to a W-2, came back into entrepreneurship and wanted to get back out and make some more connections and thought that I had some things figured out and it was going to be better than it was. And then I spent another year in the same cycle trying to figure things out. And what I didn't realize was kind of walking away from real estate a little bit. I started to learn a lot about, personal development, a lot about leadership, a lot about team building. And I want to say it was 3, 4 months where I went completely dark and really saw the ugly side of myself for a little bit and started working through some of those issues, some of that trauma. And when I came out of the other side, I started reconnecting with people, started putting a real estate business back together. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of writing a book thanks to some of the larger people that are out there that are doing things that gave me inspiration to do what I want to be doing rather than just being somebody working inside whether it's my own business or somebody else's and doing that daily grind all the time to no, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader in the space. And I want to be able to teach other people how to become a leader in that space, whether you're a visionary, whether you're an integrator, whether you're working in somebody's business, whether you're trying to build your own business, kind of what that looks like and where that can take you. And the success that starts to become the byproduct of doing that.
And so you said culinary and you said
Yes.
70 hours a week. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it?
Depends on which part you're asking about. The 70 hours, I did not.
The food,
Um,
yes.
the food, yes. So that's where things really kind of get interesting when I talk to people about that, because my passion with food wasn't necessarily the food, and it wasn't what went into producing it. It was
Mhm.
actually the result and the outcome from a wonderful dish going out. It kind of correlates with my passion, and now I understand why I like coaching and why I like having conversations with people and why I like leadership and mindset. The similarity between the two was like if you make a really nice plate of food and you put it down in front of somebody, they could have had the worst day, and they look at a nice plate of food, they take the first bite and it's delicious. They might not, for everybody, they might not be grinning ear to ear, but you see that little smirk and it changes their mood, and you can't be angry eating a delicious plate of food. So
Yeah.
even if it's only a half an hour, what was produced shifted that for somebody, at least for a half an hour. That's what I was
Wow.
passionate about.
So good. I love that. I love food. And so we'll have to have another conversation about all of that. So
I'll give you a bunch of recipes.
What made you decide to start real estate? Like, what was that initial push that made you take the first step?
The same push that I have for a lot of things that I even do to this day, and that was my wife. When I was introduced to real estate, she was the one that had already been looking into it for a couple months. We were going into COVID era, and it was during the time where a lot of businesses were laying off a lot of employees, and because I was in higher level management position, I wasn't one of the lucky souls that got to go home. I was one of the souls that got more hours tacked on to my week. And so the pay wasn't that great. And I was losing even more time. You know, I had my son, I had my wife. I would come home, I'd drop him off at daycare in the morning, and then I wouldn't see him till the next morning when I was dropping him off again. And then on the weekends, I was at work all week because he was already in bed when I got home. So I would look at him, you know, on Sunday when I finally did get a little bit of time with him before bedtime, I remember I would look at him like, "Man, you've grown like 6 inches, like, what happened?" So when she started telling me that she's been looking into she found Pace, she found another guy that we were looking at. We almost went with that program and decided not to, but she was the one that told me, she's like, "We need to shift. I need you home. We need to figure something out. We need to actually start working towards a future." I thought it was a scam in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "No, take too long. It's not going to work the way that you think that it does." I was the pessimist, and she pushed. So it comes back to that saying, happy wife is a happy life. And I gave in. And I was like, fine, we'll do it. And the first week, it was just, I was so nervous about calling, and I didn't even want her to see me calling, that I locked myself in the bathroom with my cell phone and a printed out spreadsheet of all of these houses that we drove past. And I went back and I used True People Search to find the phone numbers. And that's what I was doing for a while. Once I got introduced into Sub 2 and started talking to a couple people, it was kinda game over from there. I was like, "Alright,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. I believe you now."
That's awesome. Wow. I feel like that's always the initial push too sometimes, especially when I know I've done that and I've pushed my husband. I'm like, yeah, we need to change things up. We need to change things up on how we're doing things. And from there, we have to really let our egos go and say, okay, how can we get into a better position? And it's really having to let those egos go and make that decision. And from that, it's like the best decision we ever did besides getting married and having children, right? So strategy. So you said you started making a list. So what exclusive strategy were you starting out with when you first started?
It was wholesaling. That's what everybody was talking about when we first got introduced. That's what she had been looking into for a couple months. So we're like, all right, we'll start wholesaling, and you know, we'll set our goal a year from now. We'll buy a duplex because hopefully we'll make enough through wholesaling to be able to do that, and we'll house hack. So that's what we spent the first year and a half, actually, almost 2 years
Yeah.
doing, because it did extend. I will be transparent. I won't lie about that.
And that's the thing too, is that I love people coming on here and being honest because I want to share that with others, knowing that, hey, it's not rainbows and sunshine. Like you're going to see everything and know everything of what we've gone through. A lot of times we see the people that are really big speakers and really big known players in this industry, and they may share a little bit of what they've gone through, but I think it's important for others to really see and know that there are people who are successful and this is what is their background. This is what they've gone through. Same
Oh,
thing that others have gone through, they just need to make that choice and that decision to just step out of that and continue on. So, has there been, I mean, tell me about, a lot of people, I'm sure back, it's now almost 4 years. So, I'm sure a lot of people have really helped shape where you are right now. And, what was some of the advice that was given to you during that time?
I still get advice, I won't lie,
Oh, yeah.
and
Same here.
I mean, it's crazy because you get like, going through this, it's more than, in my humble opinion, it's more than just real estate. You know, this is a journey in and of itself, and when most people step into this realm, it's we're chasing that financial freedom, we're chasing that work, you know, work for myself and do all of that, so there's a lot that goes into it. But I mean, even to this day, I still taken advice from people that it doesn't matter if there's somebody way ahead of me. It doesn't matter if there's somebody that hasn't even been where I've been yet, but they know and they understand things that I don't know and understand. For the first year and a half, I had tons of people telling me things. And you hit on something earlier that was very important, is letting go of that ego. It's very difficult to do in the beginning. And with that carries through. I've had so many people in that first year that would tell me that I was the problem. I was the reason I wasn't getting results that I was after. And I was the guy that's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm working day in, day out. I've traded 70-hour W-2 for 70-hour entrepreneurship, and I'm taking all the reps. So I know what's going on in my business. And what really started to change it was there was one person. So the 31st person was the one that finally resonated. We sat down. I went over everything that I've gone through at this point. At that time, I told everybody I was a closer. That's where the money's at.
Hmm.
So I spent the first year and a half as a closer, and we started going over everything that I do on the day to day. I'm really good at building rapport with sellers. I'm really good at being able to jump on the phone with the same seller 3 different times, hitting those touch points. I just can't get contracts closed. And I was given the same excuses. Oh, well, they're just not motivated enough. Oh, well, it's just not this. It's like, dude, you're the problem in your business. You're the bottleneck, nothing else. And you need to figure that out. Best advice I'd ever gotten.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that's something that is huge. We were talking about it earlier, is that you get to a point where of growth where you start realizing this isn't just all about real estate. It's definitely a developmental, like, growth process that you really have to go through in order to be successful. It doesn't come just by just hard work. It's very much so internally. And so, wow. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges throughout this time that you faced on your—
Understanding myself. That was if I had to give it an ultimate, that would have been the ultimate challenge. And I get to speak to so many people, and when you're asking those first initial questions, like, where do you want to be? One of my favorite questions to ask people is like, hey, if you had a picture sitting right next to your monitor, and I don't know if you have a spouse or if you have kids, but if that picture has you and your spouse and your kids in there, what's going on in the background? Like, imagine that picture is 15 years from now. What's happening? What does that look like? And I get quite a few people that they're like, I don't really know. Or you get the same answer is financial freedom. It's like, okay, well, what does that do for you? If you had that financial freedom, like, what does that look like? Are you on stages? Are you running podcasts? Are you getting a text in between that you closed on another property or another property was sold from your pipeline? Like, what does that actually look like? Not as many people as you would think can actually answer that on the drop of a dime. And in my humble and personal opinion, if you can't answer that within 1 to 2 minutes of being asked, like, if you really have to put thought, or the thought comes out that I don't know, that's your biggest bottleneck. And that's the first thing that you should actually figure out. And that's where I was up until, honestly, about a year ago, all the way up till a year ago. It's like I didn't know. Told myself I was a closer. Then I told myself I was a systematic systems architect on the integrator side because I have fun with technology, and then was still trying to figure out why I was spinning my wheels. Once I gained that clarity, things really started changing. Conversations were different. The way that I operate is different. Even in my personal life, my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my son, it's all different.
Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. In fact, in my head, I was already trying to answer this as you were asking them too. So it's a good thing I had that insight this morning, because I'm like, I can definitely see it. So now I just need to put it out here somewhere on my desk, on our walls and stuff. So for sure. Oh man. Why do you think it was important for you to go through all that to be—
Everything that I've learned is invaluable. Like, you can't put a price point on it. I can't go pay somebody to teach me a lot of those lessons that I went through. I can't pay somebody to I mean, I can pay somebody to make mistakes in my business, or, with each other, but I can't pay somebody to make those same mistakes so that I can actually go through that and come back a better version of myself, but also to be able to build a better version on my business. It also has given it allows for a lot of insight of pattern recognition. Tony Robbins talks a lot about that. There's only so much that can actually happen that has some sort of correlation with another type of issue, for you to understand and see that pattern. So it allows you to start pre-planning out a little bit without being pessimistic, just understanding, if I'm going to shoot for this goal, here's the potential issues that we might see. And now I can leave room to be able to work through those problems as they come. And then now I'm not sitting here trying to problem solve before I get there.
Yes.
Had I not gone through it, I probably still would be sitting here, not even starting half of the stuff that I do.
And so, for someone who's listening that may not have that perhaps mentorship like what we have or guidance, what's one thing that they could do to find some direction towards that?
I would say get very intentional on what you are doing right now. And YouTube University is always going to be there. Yeah, you can pay into programs, and when you do, the information that you have is always going to be there. Start sourcing out people that are, even if they're only two steps ahead of you, start sourcing those people out that are walking down the path that you're thinking about going down, and talk to them and be intentional. Ask the right questions. I bring this up quite often, and you'll hear it a lot before you get into entrepreneurship, or even, half the people that go in here. When you speak to family members or you speak to friends, or you hear people walking around, up and down the street talking about the rich and the wealthy, they're so greedy. I'll never be able to understand how they got where they went. They'll never talk to somebody like me. It's not really like that. All you have to do is ask. And yeah, now the hang up and the reason why is it's not on my terms. So if I know somebody that's further ahead from me, most of us get hung up on, well, what value do I bring? We get hung up on what value do I bring to that person. But then when we do have that conversation, a lot of people get upset when it's not on my terms. I might have to pay this person some money, or I may have to go work for them for free for a little bit to try to learn, you know, this extreme value that would change my life. We have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and doing things like that.
Absolutely. Yes, I completely agree. That uncomfortableness. Speaking of, I listened to a short that Jay Shetty mentioned. And when it comes to the people you surround yourself with, right, you're going to notice a difference from where you're at around the people who you're around from your daily life. Obviously, if you're not where you want to be, a lot of it is because of the people who you're around with and what it is exactly that you're surrounding yourself with. So he said, as far as oh man, I'm probably chopping it up. But as far as like the people who are intentional, who are wealthy, they talk about ideas. They talk about
Mhm.
ideas. They share ideas with each other. And then you have your regular mid-class type of people who share events. Like, go do this. Okay, let's do this. But then you have your poor mindset. And I want to say poor mindset because essentially, when it's a poor mindset, I do want to iterate that that's an overall version of someone that they talk about people. And so I know we're talking about people, but we're talking about in the sense of like what has helped us. So what are some of the things that we can do to incorporate that and sharing that with others? The relationships that you've built, how has that played a huge role in your success right now, like with your
Oh,
relationships and networking?
those relationships are everything. If I didn't have those, I wouldn't be going where I'm going. I wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing. And it really does fall back to getting a clear understanding of yourself, who you are, where you want to go, what you're good at, what you're not good at. Every conversation that I have has intent behind it. It's feeding something. It's feeding one of my businesses, or it's serving the purpose of another tool that's going in my tool belt that I can leverage, whether it's now or at a later point. Another high caliber relationship. Most people don't think that they might be high caliber, but you'd be very surprised if you come in intentional and clear with yourself, how much value you actually can bring to somebody.
Oh no, I think it froze. Let's see. I know when we were cut off there, we were talking about networking and just how much it played a huge role. And for someone starting out doesn't have connections, what is the best way for them to build a network?
It's a different kind of intentional when I say be intentional in this regard. Many of times I see people would tell me that they went and put a post out in a Facebook group or just on Facebook saying that they want to do something and speak to people. Be very intentional. tell people what you were doing and tell people the types of people that you need to be speaking to, and it'll create a little bit of a filter process for you so that you're speaking to exactly who you need to talk to.
Yes, absolutely. And then what is one thing that you do as far as like an approach or a habit that you use to build strong relationships?
I look to build intro personal relationships with people that I speak to. Some of this goes back to getting clear on who I am. One of those things were our values. I understand the core values in which I operate, and I would expect people that I were to do any sort of work with to operate that way as well. So I'm analyzing everybody that I speak to against those three values, and I'm building an actual relationship. It's non contractual. So I'm not chasing a paycheck. So I'm remembering things about them, something they've said about family, something they've said about a dream that they have, something that, pieces within stories that they tell. And I'll bring that back up through conversation and just let them know we're both human. We're both on this journey and ride together. That's kind of the approach that I take. It's more personal than it is contractual.
Yes, I like that. That's really good. And I know even just for, you know, especially people who are starting out, it's making sure that you're remembering the people who you talk to.
Absolutely.
So, would you change anything today?
I would not.
No, that's good.
Absolutely would not.
I wouldn't either. It's once you've hit this spot, you're like, yeah, no, you can't pay me to go back there.
No, there's so much value in all of the things that went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's a piece of advice that you could give someone that's feeling lost or unsure where to start?
Do not give up. You're already on this path, so you're on the right one. It may look bumpy, but form relationships. Whether it's a tribe, a leadership table. I stole that from Maxwell. It's one of my idols. Surround yourself with people that you can have conversations about solving problems.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to interview you and coming on and just sharing yourself. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you for the invite and the connection.
Thank you. Go ahead and share. How can listeners connect with you and learn more about what you're doing?
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I try to keep it simple for everybody. My handles are at the James Zieger. You could search on all of those and you will see my pretty little mug with my microphone and a big smile like that as the picture on all of them.
Love it. Well, everyone, I hope this gives you some insight and just helps you along your journey and provides a way for you to start yours. So, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.